Oh, hi. What's that? Oh, you wanna know something about progressive overload? Alright, listen up. You hear the term progressive overload every time when someone is talking about building muscle. But do you actually know what progressive overload is? Progressive overload doesn't mean only increasing the weight or reps. There are many more ways to apply progressive overload that I bet you didn't even know about. So listen up, I'm gonna tell you about every single way of applying progressive overload. So what does progressive overload even mean in the first place? Progressive overload means that as the time goes on, you increase the difficulty of the exercise you are doing. You can increase the difficulty by using various factors, which I'm gonna talk about in a second. Using progressive overload will guarantee muscle growth. Without it, you will never make any significant progress. I'm sure that you have seen those people who have been going to the gym for years, but they still look the same. That's because they are always doing the same exercises, with the same weight and same reps, and simply never progressing in any way. Now let's talk about all the types of progressive overload that you can use. First, let's talk about the two most used types of progressive overload that you should use. And later I will talk about less known types of progressive overload that people for some reason don't talk about. So, as you might have guessed, the two most used types of progressive overload are increasing the weight and increasing the reps. You always hear me say rep ranges like 5 to 8, 8 to 12, so let me use them in an example. Let's say you are doing bench press in 5 to 8 rep range, and you are currently able to bench press 100 pounds for 5 reps. So in the first day of bench press you did 100 pounds for 3 sets of 5 reps. And in the next workout you will try to do at least 6 reps for at least 1 set of the 3 sets in total. So let's say you managed to get 6 reps in the first and second set, and in the last set you only got 5. But there is still progressive overload. And you continue like this until you hit 8 reps on all of your 3 sets. And in case you forgot, we were doing bench press in 5 to 8 rep range. That's why we stopped at 8 reps. If the rep range was for example 8 to 12 reps, you would start at 8 reps and continue until you get all of your sets for that exercise to 12 reps. Now you might be wondering, what do I do when I hit the upper limit of the rep range with all my sets? So let's go back to the 5 to 8 rep range example. You managed to bench press 100 pounds for 8 reps on all of your 3 sets. That means that you are now ready to increase the weight. Add like 5 pounds on the bar and start the cycle all over again. So you got 105 pounds on the bar right now, and you managed to get 7 reps on the first set and 6 reps on the second and the third set. So you continue again until you hit 8 reps on all of your sets, and then you increase the weight again. I think that now you know what I'm trying to say. Now let me tell you about the less known types of progressive overload, which are very good for breaking plateaus. Because if you can't increase the weight or reps anymore, you still need to progressively overload somehow. So the first one is decreasing the rest times between the sets. So let's go back to the bench press example. If you did for example 100 pounds for sets of 7, 6 and 6 reps, while resting 3 minutes between the sets, decrease the rest to 2.5 minutes. And if you get the same number of reps as you did with 3 minutes of rest, you progressively overload it. Next one is performing the reps slower than usual or adding a pause to the exercise. So again, let's say you did 100 pounds on the bench press for sets of 7, 6 and 6 reps. Now try to slow down the tempo of your reps a little bit and pause at the bottom of the movement for a second. And if you still get the same number of reps as you did before with your normal tempo and without pauses, you progressively overload it. And now something that you really wouldn't even think about. I think if you are on a cut and your overall body weight decreased and you are still able to lift the same weight for the same amount of reps as before, that is also a form of progressive overload. Because usually the heavier you are, the more weight you can lift. And now for some honorable mentions. If you are feeling stuck because you didn't progress in any way in a couple of weeks, it might be time to completely switch the exercise variation. For example, if your progress is stuck on the squat, switch to leg press for a couple of months and then come back to the squat and you will see that you are suddenly able to break through that plateau no problem. Other thing that you can do to try to create progressive overload is to do partial or forced reps, where you go beyond failure, but I would only recommend this to experienced lifters. So, to myself. And if you feel completely burned out from trying to force progress non-stop, it might be smart to do a deload. Follow progressive overload and eat enough protein, and you will for sure make some amazing gains. Please like the video if you found it helpful. Thanks!